A former aircraft technician at Robins Air Force Base, Georgia, filed a lawsuit against the Department of Air Force claiming they discriminated against him based on his documented disabilities, according to federal court records. Bradley Clay, a veteran and former technician, states in his lawsuit against the Secretary of the Air Force, Frank Kendall III, that he experienced discrimination due to his service-related conditions, namely PTSD, anxiety, and depression. Specifically, he claims the Air Force denied his request to utilize a service dog as a reasonable accommodation. Mr. Clay's PTSD, anxiety, and depression are a result of his deployment in Iraq, during which he was stationed at a base frequently subjected to mortar attacks. The lawsuit details that these experiences have resulted in debilitating panic attacks triggered by loud noises. The plaintiff accuses the Air Force of violating the Rehabilitation Act by discriminating against him based on his disabilities, failing to provide reasonable accommodations, and retaliating against him for documenting his PTSD diagnosis and its impact on his work performance. Representatives from Robins Air Force Base have declined to comment on the pending litigation. During his active duty service, Mr. Clay served as an aircraft technician and was deployed to a base in Iraq, which is often referred to as Mortaritaville, due to frequent insurgent mortar attacks. Although he witnessed and heard numerous explosions, 2 specific incidents caused him to fear for his life. Upon returning, he experienced significant challenges with anxiety and depression. Following his military service, Mr. Clay continued to work in a similar capacity until he accepted a permanent civilian position at Robins Air Force Base in 2019. In September of 2021, his mental health deteriorated, culminating in a self-destruction attempt. A supervisor, aware of Mr. Clay's PTSD, facilitated his continued paid leave during his recovery. A mental health professional recommended the use of a service animal to mitigate his PTSD symptoms. Mr. Clay was also receiving therapy and medication to manage his anxiety and depression. While he explored obtaining a service dog from a veterans assistance organization, the process could have taken up to 2 years and required employer approval. Air Force policies generally permit the use of service dogs by active duty, reserve, and civilian personnel with service-related disabilities within most installations, subject to certain safety constraints. However, the policies stipulate that a service animal may be excluded if its presence interferes with legitimate safety requirements, such as in sterile environments like surgical units. In August 2022, Mr. Clay requested permission to bring a service dog and used noise-canceling headphones to manage his PTSD symptoms. He informed his supervisors that his disabilities were impacting his work performance and that the requested accommodations would enable him to effectively perform his duties. Supervisors denied the request for headphones, offering foam earplugs and earmuffs instead. They also mischaracterized the service dog request as an emotional support animal request, expressing concerns about potential similar requests from other employees. The request was ultimately denied following input from a safety director who cited concerns about the dog's safety on the flight line and potential liability for the government. The director also expressed concerns about employee reactions to a dog in the workplace and asserted, without supporting evidence, that Mr. Clay's PTSD and panic attacks rendered him unable to perform his job safely. This assertion was documented in his personnel file. Mr. Clay filed a formal discrimination complaint with the Air Force's Equal Employment Opportunity Office in February 2023. An administrative judge ruled in favor of the Air Force in October, citing the supervisor's testimony that Mr. Clay was not considered medically impaired because he was expected to perform all his essential job functions. After a promotion to a different Air Force organization at Robins Air Force Base, Mr. Clay was granted the requested accommodations. This lawsuit represents only one side of the legal argument.